back. Goodfellas Sports TV, little boxing news, all right? We talk a little bit about Top Rank and a little bit about Oscar Rivas. I guess he gonna roll with Eddie Hearn, and primarily it kind of be about me cooking on that. But Top Rank is sending Jose Ramirez and Viktor Postol February 1st, over to China to fight. So I didn't see that coming. I can't pronounce the city and the city name, but they going over to China to do a fight February 1st. I don't know how that came about, but they fighting February 1st. Now I got pushed back because Viktor Postol had a hand injury. I mean, Jose Ramirez had like an injury. I think it was a hand or something like that. And most people thinking like, whoa, Viktor Postol and Ramirez, another Top Rank in-house fight. But Viktor Postol being represented by TGB Promotions, and they affiliate one of the promoters for the TV series known as Premier Boxing Champions, spearheaded by Al Heyman. Okay, so Postol was technically seen to be a PBC fighter, and they going to fight over there in Japan. I thought it was going to be Fresno. I was talking to somebody behind the scenes about it. And they get, February 1st. So I don't know how that came about. I know like Viktor Postol from like the Ukraine or something of that nature, man. So he probably gonna train over there, then head over to Japan or whatever the situation is. So I don't think he with Freddie Roach no more. But as far as the fight, I think it's a good fight. I think Postol is another one of those Ortiz type opponents, John Pascal type opponents. He real desperate right now to get on the board and get back a championship. And I don't know how confident he is, because a guy like that an accomplished, and at one point they rated him the number 140-pound guy when he beat Lucas Matisse. People forget that. People say, oh, Bud ain't beat nobody. Postol was all that in the bag of chips. He was number one. Okay, like I said, he was all that in the bag of chips. He was number one, and a lot of people was picking Viktor Postol. I remember that. And when Bud dismantled him, all of a sudden Viktor Postol was a nobody. But like I said, it's another story for another day. But other than that, I think he can test Ramirez. Ramirez is strong, Postol strong. He had a great showing versus Josh Taylor. A lot of people thought you could have gave him the victory versus Josh Taylor. And Postol still can box. He still can punch. I think it's gonna be an interesting fight. I think it's probably like a 60-40 in Jose Ramirez's favor. But I don't see Top Rank letting Postol leave out with those belts, especially since he not a Top Rank fighter no more, from what I understand. But he could beat Ramirez. Ramirez can be outboxing. Viktor Postol got the style. He may be straight up and down, but I think that this might be a very, very good fight for that, because if he can keep Ramirez at the end of his punches, Ramirez just run right into shots. Ramirez getting a lot better, man. I've been saying that. I see him getting better, but it could just be a situation of him fighting, being match made to fight certain opponents, and then they ready to feed him up and wrap him up in the Five Guys and Fries foil wrap and feeding him to Terrence Crawford. I think Viktor Postol would be a good fight to kind of get prepared for that. Obviously, he don't have the fluid movement, but Postol brings something else. He brings a guy that can maintain his distance. He knows when you get on the inside how to hold you. He big, he's strong. He been at the weight. He can punch a little bit, and I think his confidence is coming back up since the Josh Taylor fight. So I think Postol could pull it off, but I would heavily favor, 60-40 favor Jose Ramirez in this fight. But I can see Postol pulling it off. Anybody that can box and move, they gonna give Jose Ramirez all type of problems like Jose Zepeda did, man. They gonna be able to box circles around him. Hooker wasn't that time. He ain't on Viktor Postol level, and I like Hooker, but he ain't that level of fighter, and that's just my humble opinion. That's no knocking him. I'm a big supporter, but I got to keep him 100. Postol was a bad boy, but I expect Ramirez to kind of thug it out. But it's an interesting place to have that fight over there in Japan, man. I didn't see that one coming, to be quite honest, but it is what it is, man. But all right, Oscar Rivas is gonna come back January 30th or 31st. That's in Miami, Florida, on Super Bowl weekend. Okay, they gonna be coming back. He gonna be coming back with Eddie Hearn. And like I said before, the only thing that matter in boxing is money. All right, don't matter if you got a racist promoter that said a lot of racist stuff. Don't matter if he white, black, orange, or red. Don't matter what he done. He could have He could have sex trafficked. He could have smacked your mama. He could have, put a foot up your daughter's ass. He could have did a lot of things. It just shows you, when it boiled down to it, these boxers care more about their money than their integrity. And for a guy, Eddie Hearn, who I'm saying, played with your life, Oscar Rivas. Listen to me, bro. I know you don't speak English. Get somebody to translate this shit. For a guy in Oscar and Eddie Hearn who played with your life, who played with your livelihood, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, Dillian Whyte had knowingly, I forgot my food at the damn place. Damn, I left it dead on the fucking thing. Somebody gonna have a free burger. But I went to Red Robin's, man. I left my food there. I just realized that. But did I? Yeah, I left it. But it is what it is. But for a dude like Eddie Hearn, okay, that he did the thing with Dillian Whyte, where Dillian Whyte had tested positive for a drug test with the UCAD. All right, and when the UCAD alerted them, or it was alerted about the positive drug test, Eddie Hearn and everybody in the situation allowed the fight to go on, but they didn't let Oscar Rivas know, like, okay, Dillian Whyte did test positive for blase blah. Do you want to go on with the fight, or do you want to cancel the fight? We'll make some arrangements or something else. They didn't give him that opportunity. So Oscar Rivas went into the fight with Dillian Whyte with an unfair advantage, and about, I don't even know, about a week later, it wasn't even a week later, a few days later, I believe it was, it came out that Dillian Whyte had tested positive leading up to the fight. And they didn't let Oscar Rivas know. They just let you know, dude, these boxers don't care about their life. They don't care about their livelihood. They don't care if they're in the bed with a snake or nothing. They don't have no integrity. They don't have no morals. They like a lot of dudes out here. They don't have no code. If you got the money, I can forget that you killed my mother. I can forget you slept with my wife. You know what I'm saying? I can forget you tried to take me out. Man, I can just tell a lot of these boxers, they ain't grow up in the streets. They ain't grow up in the streets, though. And I know a lot of boxing fans, they ain't grow up in the streets neither. I can tell by how they talk, how they moving, how they fangirling on or fanboying on the comments. I could tell a lot of dudes didn't grow up in the hood, man. I could tell a lot of dudes was scholars and they had good grades, or they played Yu-Gi-Oh or something like that. They was cornballs, or they just regular people. People say, well, I hustled in these streets and I did. I don't believe, dog, at all. Cause ain't no way I'm going to eat out the white devil's hand after he tried to play me. If they could have paid UCAS some money, or they could have paid whoever some money, it never came out that Dillian Whyte didn't fail that drug test. If Eddie Hearn had that type of money, or if he had that type of clout, you will never know. It's happened before. You got to believe it's been fighters that test positive and got swept under the rug, or fighters that know they drug tested schedule, or fighters they didn't cover some stuff up for, athletes just in general. And for Oscar Rivas, he a damn fool, man, to get back in the bed with Eddie Hearn, man. He's an absolute fool. But you know what? These dudes that do what Shaq say, they'll do anything for money. Whatever that song was, we talked about his father. But me personally, couldn't be me. Couldn't be me. But you can't get mad at him, man. Eddie Hearn paying him well, and that's what he's looking for. Maybe he promised him a Usyk shot or a title shot if AJ win, and Oscar Rivas said, I'll work with you right now. Me personally, couldn't have did it though. Couldn't have did it. I still be suing Eddie Hearn ass. And if Eddie Hearn, everything you get, all the money Oscar Rivas you getting from Eddie Hearn, that's all the money plus some that you was owed for your inconvenience going over to the UK and getting played. For real. For real. For real. And that's just what it is, man. But hey, it is what it is. Couldn't be me, man. Couldn't be me. But hey, man, Goodfellas Sports TV. Don't forget me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Reach out to the email if you got business, question, inquiry, sponsorship, video requests. Keep sharing the videos. Want to make a donation? That link's in the description. Best way to donate is share the video. And other than that, man, keep checking out for me one time. Y'all know what the business is. Other than that, man, I'm trying to remember something. I might go live tonight. I don't know. If I don't go live tonight, I go live tomorrow, man. I might make a live first final thoughts for Wilder Ortiz. But other than that, man, check the playlist out. We got heavyweight. welterweight, boxing news, NBA, NFL, the whole nine. So keep checking your boy out one time for the one time. Y'all know what the business is. We're gone.